Bonjour, Andy. How we doing, mate, after that 2-0 defeat in the FA Cup to Arsenal? Extra time, are you surprised it took that long, or should Newcastle have made a count in the 90?
I think Bruce will be bitterly disappointed it wasn't a 0-0 in the league, so he got an extra point. So I think that'll be his biggest concern. I think you saw he played a. I mean, people say this, don't they? They're so easily appeased these days, aren't they? That it's a strong enough team. We should have given it a go. The Everton fans will be saying the same earlier. You know, I mean, Dominic Calvert-Lewin missing for them, Wilson missing for us today. He brings a young kid on. You know, brilliant for him. It would have been a thrilling day for his family. But at the end of the day, should a kid have come on, the Anderson lad come on ahead of Gale, if you've got aspirations to win it? I mean, you know, we all know the answer, don't we? I mean, he's not as obvious as Rafa. I mean, Rafa admitted that, you know, it's not club protocol and policy to win the cups. He followed orders and pretended that he was one of the fans. But, you know, would one of the fans play a weekend team and, you know, con people's dreams? I don't think so. Today, you know, a lot stronger team than the Rafa teams, to be fair, but it wasn't the strongest side. If Wilson plays on Tuesday, you travel down, then, you know, you ask why he wasn't playing today. And if you get more of them chances Carroll had, he probably would have stuck it away. Not to say that Carroll didn't have a good game. I thought Carroll was really good, but obviously he's not a goal scorer. Joe Linton's certainly not a goal scorer. So, you know, you can play reasonably well. It's probably the best we've played in a while, to be fair. In the second half, we did create a few chances, but when you've got no one to put in the net, that's what happens. You know, you create chances and you don't score. So is that a team, in my opinion, that was put out to try and win the game? I don't think it was. And I think we're being shortchanged again as fans. Wasn't as dross as it normally is. So, I mean, that's something, I guess. But, you know, we're out the cup at the end of the day, at the third round stage again. If we'd lost it in normal time and we'd had the full personnel, we played okay, you just hold your hands up, don't you? You say that. I think the last time that I felt that a stronger side was put out in a cup, and it was, strangely enough, it was a McLaren team when we lost away to Watford. We were absolutely, truly awful, but he put the strongest team out, so I didn't complain too much. But I did a little bit, but not for the team selection. I think that's the biggest bugbear for me. But, you know, if he repeats the feat and gets a 0-0 in a week's time and gets something against Sheffield United, then he'll be happy. You know, and then people will buy into the, you know, injuries and fighting relegation. And some fans, even, you know, they're so downtrodden now, they buy into it as well. So, you know, if you don't want to win a cup, you don't want to dream, you don't want to hope, that's up to you. But I think that it's unfair on the most of the fan base, I would say. But
It's as if Brucey thought he was in Premier League action tonight. I think Brucey thought the FA Cup game was a week on Monday and this was the Premier League game, because he fought out for that 0-0 and then surprised that penalties and extra time was coming. Because you see the team he put out there and the tactics, I think how poor Arsenal were, surely the tie was there for the taking, wasn't it?
it was on the night. I mean, Arsenal, I've watched a couple of games recently. They destroyed West Brom. They played really well. But it is, you know, Fat Sam team, you know, a lot of men behind the ball, and they got an early goal. So it's different that. They were good against Chelsea. They're on a bit of an up run, but today they were terrible. So, you know, you might give them a bit of respect for the first little bit of the game, the first phase, but then on the night, you'd smell blood, wouldn't you? You'd think that, you know, they've been poor most of the season. It's only the last 3 games where they're getting some results, getting a bit of positivity, but that can be easily ebbed away from a team that's struggled for most of the season. I'm sure the lads on Arsenal TV will have you know, been whinging a lot of the season about their form, and they'll just be happy with the Christmas run they've had. But I mean, that's not a great Arsenal side, to be honest. You know, we've lost against a lot better Arsenal sides in the past. We've had better sides ourselves, and you know, I think, to be fair to Bruce, in his world, that was having to go tonight. That's the truly depressing thing, because we weren't, you know, at times we had up to 2 or 3 in the box. You know, I mean, and the possession wasn't as dreadful tonight. I think we probably had more of the ball than we normally do in league games. So that probably was him having to go, but in terms of the style of play. But it wasn't him having to go in terms of the personnel and the team picked. So for me, that's, you know, if you start a game with Joe Linton and Carroll up front, you're not going to win many games. That's you know, you need a goal scorer. And if he'd went like for like and he'd put Gale in instead of Wilson, and I wouldn't have necessarily been totally happy with it, but it would have been like for like, and at least Gale can score goals. You know, he's got them in. He's got the capability to put the ball in the net, but that's just. It was a surrender, really. At the end of the day, we could have stolen it. It probably would have went against the grain, because Ashley probably wouldn't have been too happy that we've got another game and risk injuries and might have to buy more players, or have more loan signings. Sorry, we don't buy players in January, do we? So, you know, I mean, Kuchi's probably a bit old now, to be honest, but I don't know who the next Kuchi would be. You know, I mean, how old's Rob Hulse? Is he still around? I'm sure I could get somebody.
I will. Big Sam just saying Robert Snodgrass, like, so that's that one taken away from her.
Well, yeah. Well, to be honest, he would have fit the bills. He's got no pace either, has he? So, you know, the counter attacks. I'm surprised we actually managed to muster as many counter attacks as we did today, because, you know, bless poor Richie. I love Richie to bits, but he's not blessed with pace. You know, John Joe wasn't playing the day. I mean, who else? I mean, Longstaff does not like he bursts a gut in the run in front. You know, Carroll, obviously, Joe Linton. You know, I'd sponsor him £3, you know, for feed the donkeys, to be honest, wouldn't you? But luckily he's a millionaire, so he'd be well fed on, you know, so should really be giving me £3. But no, I think we're just an appalling sort of squad and football team, really. I mean, the pundits always seem surprised. They go, that was a terrible game, wasn't it? And they're talking about highlights at half time. I think, you know, we're on every week now. You know, every game's televised, so you must know by now that we're absolutely dog tid to watch. And it's only being fans that you can clutch at straws sometimes, can't you? Like, say, oh, that wasn't a bad game. Well, no, it was a bad game. It's just less bad than the previous one, when you do get a sort of modicum of hope. Now, let's just hope that Tuesday isn't this spectacularly doomsday that we all sort of think could happen. And I think if we win, then it gives us a lot of respite. If we lose on Tuesday, God, hey, it's going to be grim, isn't it? I think a trip back to the Emirates this time next week or whenever it is, it's not looking great.
No, certainly isn't. But we'll see how that comes on Tuesday. We might speak to you on Tuesday night, mate. Thanks for your time tonight. We'll see you then.
Cheers, mate. See you after.
Take care, mate. Bye-bye.